Welcome back to VeriCite Research, the channel where we turn evidence-based insights into practical knowledge. Today, we're diving into measurements and evaluation in physical education, a core pillar that separates guesswork from data-driven teaching and coaching. By the end of this video, you'll understand what measurement and evaluation really mean in PE, the main types of assessments, and how to apply them effectively in your classroom, training, or research. Definitions. Test. A tool to elicit performance. Measurement. Assigning numbers to that performance. Evaluation. Interpreting those numbers to make decisions. In physical education, measurement and evaluation help a teacher assess students' performances. Students reflect on their own progress, and programs track development over time. A test is any structured activity, like a sit-and-reach test, a 600-meter run, or a ball handling drill, that draws out a specific skill or fitness component. Once students perform the test, measurement means assigning a value, like seconds, centimeters, or points, to quantify their performance. Then comes evaluation, comparing that data to standards, norms, or previous results to decide whether the student improved, needs extra support, or is ready for competition. In short, test to measurement to evaluation forms a cycle that guides instruction, motivation, and program design. Identify baseline fitness. Detect strengths and weaknesses. Monitor progress over time. Select athletes for teams. Improve PE programs and research. So why do we bother with measurement and evaluation in PE? Several key objectives emerge from the literature. First, they help us evaluate the individual's starting state, baseline fitness, skill level, and movement patterns before any program begins. Second, they detect deficiencies, whether it's low flexibility, poor cardiovascular endurance, or weak motor coordination, so we can tailor activities and interventions. Second, they detect deficiencies, whether it's low flexibility, poor cardiovascular endurance, or weak motor coordination, so we can tailor activities and interventions. Third, they monitor progress. By testing before and after a unit or season, teachers and coaches objectively see improvement, or the lack of it. Fourth, they assist in talent identification and selection for teams or competitions. And finally, all this data feeds into program evaluation and research, helping schools and universities refine their PE curricula, teaching methods, and training protocols. Diagnostic. Formative. Summative. When we talk about assessment in PE, three main types dominate the discussion: diagnostic, formative, and summative. Diagnostic assessment comes at the beginning. It helps the teacher understand what students already can do, what they struggle with, and what misconceptions exist. This data shapes the lesson plan and individual goals. Formative assessment happens throughout the unit. Think of observations, quick skill checks, peer feedback, and short fitness tests. The goal here is feedback and adjustment, not just grading. Then there's summative assessment, usually at the end of a unit or term. This might be a final fitness test, a skill-based performance rubric, or an end-of-semester project. It's used to judge overall competence and sometimes assign grades or reports. Modern PE also embraces performance-based evaluations, like using games performance assessment instruments or observational checklists, to capture not just can the student do the skill, but how effectively they apply it in play. Health-related fitness tests, e.g. 600-meter run, sit and reach, push-ups. Skill-based tests, e.g. dribbling, passing, jumping for distance. Let's look at some concrete tests and measurements commonly used in PE. For health-related fitness, teachers often use the following: cardiovascular endurance, 600-meter run, 12-minute run, or shuttle runs. muscular strength and endurance, push-ups, sit-ups, or chin-ups. Flexibility, the sit and reach test or trunk lift assessments. Body composition, sometimes BMI or simple body measure protocols, always interpreted cautiously. On the motor skill side, you might see vertical jump for explosive power, shuttle runs or agility drills for coordination and speed, sport-specific tests like dribbling speed, passing accuracy, or shooting efficiency. Each test should meet classic criteria. Validity, it measures what it claims. Reliability, consistent results across trials. And objectivity, different evaluators agree on scores. Move, solve, connect. Holistic PE assessment framework. Traditionally, PE assessment focused heavily on physical outputs, fitness scores, and technical correctness. But recent approaches emphasize holistic assessment that captures the full spectrum of learning. A popular framework is Move, Solve, Connect. Move covers physical literacy and fundamental movement skills, things like balance, coordination, agility, and object control. Solve tracks cognitive development, decision-making, strategy, creativity, and spatial awareness during games. Connect focuses on social and emotional growth, communication, collaboration, leadership, and resilience. By combining these three dimensions, teachers move beyond just, is this student fast? To questions like, can they adapt under pressure? Do they support teammates? And how well do they solve problems in play? Checklist. Align tests with learning objectives. Use a mix of formative and summative tools. Provide clear rubrics and feedback. Combine quantitative data with qualitative observation. Whether you're a PE teacher, coach, or researcher, here are 4 practical tips. First, always align your tests to your learning objectives. If the goal is cooperative gameplay, don't just measure sprint speed. Include decision-making and teamwork indicators. Second, blend formative and summative tools. Use ongoing observations and checklists during lessons, then formal tests at the end of units. Third, use clear rubrics and criteria so students understand what good performance looks like and how they can improve. And fourth, combine numbers with context. Quantitative scores help track progress, but qualitative notes about effort, attitude, and strategy give a richer picture. Subscribe to VeriCite Research for more evidence-based PE education and research content. Comment below, how do you measure and evaluate your students in PE? Measurement and evaluation in physical education are not just about giving grades. They're about seeing growth, refining teaching, and building better programs. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video on sports pedagogy, research design, or PE program evaluation. Until then, this is VeriCite Research, where data meets practice. Stay active, stay curious, and see you in the next one.